Are off.
All right. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling good this morning. Give me a replay, gang. If you're watching a replay, you know how we do's it around here. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration expert. I help take our company to the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America in my first year as a chief marketing officer. On top of that, I'm a self-esteem development fanatic and a huge proponent of therapy. I have a therapy session later on the day. I want you to stop thinking of therapy as something that is for crazy people. And I want you to realize that when you get your car a tune-up, you're saying it like, hey, I want this car to last as long as possible. When you go and work out, you're saying, hey, I want this body to last as long as possible. And when you go to therapy, what you're saying is, I want my mind to function at its highest level. I want my mind to be able to use all its little tricks, right? You want your car to use all its little tricks. So that's why you go to therapy, right? You want your car to still be able to speed up, slow down. You want the brakes to work. You don't want the engine to overheat. So you go get a tune-up. You get an oil change. I'm just saying that maybe you want to consider doing the same thing for your mind. I love therapy. I love therapy. I love therapy. And it wasn't always that way. You hear me, Mr. Terry? It wasn't always that way. You know what I'm talking about, Jackie, Michelle? The YouTube gang checking in. Keontis and Taisha rocking from YouTube. I love that. Vita Lachey is in the house. That's right. You don't want it to drift, baby. Good one. I like what you did there. That's right. You don't want it to drift. My man Damon in the house. Let's get it, man. All right. So, for me, the reason I'm talking about this one, Mr. Michael Douglas, the reason I'm talking about this one, Lorinda. Okay, Lorinda. Way to keep your commitments, queen. The reason I'm talking about this morning is because I want the kind of success and prosperity is going to last. I don't know if y'all paying attention to what's going on in the Ukraine or what's going on with Russia, but there are some that would say we headed for a third world war. Now, I don't know if you realize it, but this is not the time to be poor. I don't know if you're doing a lot of chilling out. I don't know if you're doing a lot of sitting back on your haunches. I don't know if you're working that remote control a little bit too much lately, but I'm going to tell you something. This is not the time to be poor. This is not the time to be living hand to mouth. This is not the time to be living paycheck to paycheck. This is the time you need to be focused on some sort of prosperity that is long lasting, some kind of prosperity that can withstand the tumultuous times that we're about to enter and that some would say we've already been in. A lot of people, though, are only interested in quick fixes. You hear what I'm saying to you, Ginger? A lot of people out here, Mr. Dennis Thicklin, they are focused on the kinds of things that really only make sense for a couple minutes, right? These magic bullets that these people sell you, all these coaches, they willing to sell you a magic bullet all the time. I like Isioma because she is out here working out. She's putting in work every day and displaying her process. I told you yesterday, stop comparing your results to other people and compare your process to other people. You know what I mean? You don't want to walk a mile in their shoes. You just want to be at the destination with them. That is insane. And what I'm talking to this morning, who I'm talking to this morning, are those who want to focus on the long game, right? Those who want to focus on the grand vision. I've spent a lot of my money and time. Me and one of my best friends was talking last night about how, there are those of us who spend more on personal development than some people earn. And then, you got those who are like, I already know that. I know that already. We were talking about that last night. Like, that is, my pet peeve. When somebody's like, stop trying to be a know-it-all and become a learn-it-all. Become a learn-it-all and not it all, but learn it all about your craft. Learn it all about what it is that you intend on delivering you the best life possible. Learn it all about that. Because I want to be clear. Somebody give me this in the notes. A wealth of information means that there is a poverty of focus. You hear me? A wealth of information means there's a poverty of focus. Was y'all on the training the other day when I was talking about how a New York Times weekend edition has more information in it than the average person got their whole life back in the 1800s? There's a wealth of information out there, but there's a poverty of focus. So what I got for you this morning is 4 different unassailable habits. These are 4 strategies anyone can use, and nobody can argue with them that it'll work. Nobody can argue with them that it'll work. Hey, I don't know who that is, but I appreciate the love. You got to click on that little link up above in the description, so that way it allows it to show your name. Ain't that right, Cheryl? That's right. Tell them, JG. So what I got for them this morning, Miss Shirley, is I got 4 different habits that will change everything for any business owner out here. I don't know if you've taken time to figure out the kind of habits that you need to make success inevitable instead of failure. But my goal is to give them to you this morning. So if you're ready for habit number 1, somebody tell me a wealth of information means there's a poverty of focus, and give me a share. Put that in the comments and then give me a share. You know what I mean? That way you always have this on your timeline. And next year this time it comes up and you're like, man, let me see which of these I tried. You know? Habits will change your life. Habits will change your life. Let's go. A wealth of information leads to a poverty of focus. We're trying to get bigger and better. We're trying to go further, faster, with less effort, ain't we? So every single one of these habits that I'm about to give you is backed by neuroscience. You know, I fancy myself an entrepreneurologist, right? That means we study not just entrepreneur mindset, but we study the neurology. We study how the brain actually works. You dig what I'm saying to you? All right, here's the first one, y'all. Seek more clarity. Write this in your notes. Clarity kills overwhelm. Whenever you find yourself overwhelmed, it's because you don't have what? It's because you don't have clarity. Welcome, Shalitha. I appreciate that. Welcome, Shalitha. Shalitha just now joined the email list. Y'all know the newsletter comes out every Friday at 3:30 p.m. You're going to love this. What I'm saying is you got to seek more clarity. This is a habit that few ever consciously develop. I was on the phone yesterday with my mentor's daughter, and she was talking about how she wants to create an incredible gift for her father, my mentor, because his birthday is coming up. And he's going to be 77, and 7 is his favorite number and all of that. So she has this incredible idea. I was like, listen, if you don't sit down and get some clarity, she's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I said, check this out. If you don't sit down and get some clarity, I said, make a list. Write out a list of 100 different people who you know you've probably done things for. And then I gave her some clarity. I said, a lot of times people like us, we have a spirit of service. So can't nobody do nothing for us. You know what I mean? But we have to learn to be excellent givers and excellent receivers. You know what I mean? And then I gave her some clarity. I said, a lot of times you ladies, y'all play ping pong even with the compliments. Can't somebody even give you a compliment? They tell you that's a nice purse. And then you're like, girl, I like your hair. You know what I mean? You don't even let it land. Yeah, it's good to give. But for this thing to be holistic, you also have to be an excellent receiver. So I said, write down a list of everybody that you've ever done something nice for. Everybody that my mentor has ever done something nice for. Do y'all know my mentor is Mr. Les Brown? Do y'all know that? I don't have to say that, right? If y'all been rocking with me, y'all know that. And obviously, he has so many millionaires he's coached, so many multimillionaires he's coached, a few billionaires he's coached. Listen to me. Go through that Rolodex, you know what I mean? Go through that phone book, go through that little black book, and write down 100 names. I said, if you want bonus points, then write down 250 names. Because at the end of the day, what you need is clarity. If you approach your daily activities, is my point, y'all, with greater intention and with razor sharp focus, it's going to make things a lot easier. This is a habit. Like me and Narissa was kicking it about this Ukraine thing. And we were just having this little conversation where it was like, what would you do? You know what I mean? If you were Biden, or if you were in the Department of Defense, what exactly would you do? And then I started breaking down my plan with clarity, but I wouldn't have came up with that if she wouldn't have asked me that question, right? And then I asked her the same thing. And then she came up with, in my opinion, an even better plan, because it was based around specific information that I didn't have, right? But my point is, if you ask questions, it'll give you clarity a lot of times. I want you to understand that there are few things more powerful than a life lived with clarity. Somebody write that in your notes. There are few things more powerful than a life lived with passionate clarity. Here's number 2, y'all. Learn to generate energy. Learn to generate energy. If you want to enjoy sustainable success over time, right? If you want increasing prosperity, if you want every day to get better and better and better, get rid of this notion in your mind that somehow relaxing will make you happy. What you need is more energy. You cannot afford to be bogged down by fatigue. You cannot afford loss of enthusiasm just when victory is on the horizon. You can't afford lethargy. You can't afford that mealy mouth, like Eeyore vibe. When was the last time you went 7 days straight without feeling a loss of energy? 7 days straight where you felt energized, enthusiastic, ready to crush it in your life. When was the last time you felt that? The reason we do this state change every morning, the reason why we're always in the morning like, woo! Some of y'all don't call in, so y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But every morning we do this thing where we're like, you know what I mean? I'm about to unmute the line. But if right now you feel stronger than you've ever been, if you acknowledge you're wiser than you've ever been, and on top of that, you're the youngest you're ever gonna be, make some noise for your life, millionaires. And then we'd be like, whoa! And there's some people that's just tuning in for the first time, they'd be like, man, these people is absolutely nuts. And while that may be true, we're also moving with intention, because that's what you call a state change. If you're in the Kaizen Academy, since we don't have a class this weekend, the next class is not till next weekend, I suggest you go in the archives and take that class called Train the Trainer, because we give you a couple dozen different ways you can create state change in your audience, making them raise their hand, making them give high fives to each other, making them turn to their neighbor, making them get up out their chair. You know what I mean? But when we're on the line, I do something called a state change, because really the essence of leadership is being able to control your own state and influence the state of other people. You got to learn to generate energy. Energy, there's another word for it, spirit. There's another word for it, vibration. Frequency is just the speed of vibration, right? E equals MC squared. Explain to us that everything is energy. When is the last time, with some focus and some intention, you decided to use this ability you have to generate more energy? Mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy. We all live on 3 different planes at the same time. We live in our mind, we live in our emotions, and then we live in our physical body. What if you could generate more energy? You got to deliberately and consciously learn to create and imbue into the world the kind of energy you want to get back, especially if you don't want to burn out, right? Let me calm down so I stop yelling at y'all. You know what I mean? But this is how you'll learn to cultivate and generate more emotions, more positive emotions. You know, we going with positive emotions, interactions with other people that are positive. And a lot of times we forget that if you need a friend, you got to be a friend. A lot of times we forget that what you're really looking for, the feeling you're looking for, comes from you giving it, not somebody just you receiving it. You know what I'm saying to you? Right, Isioma? Hey, welcome to the newsletter list, Jeff. My man Jeffrey Crawford just now joined the email list. I love that. All right, here's number 3, y'all. Here's number 3. Raise your standards and expectations. Raise your standards and expectations. Let's get it. Raise your standards and expectations. Setting the right expectations for your business is going to be a must. You hear me? Setting the right expectations is going to be a must. Most people have big dreams, but very low expectations. Since I was talking about my mentor, one of my favorite quotes from him is that most people don't fail in life because they aim too high and miss it. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit it right smack dab in the center. What's my point? My point is there is a mindset shift that is going to be required of you, because write this in your notes. Your results will never outperform the standards you have set for yourself. Give me that in your notes. My results will never outperform the standards I have set for myself. It just won't happen. You ain't never going to go further than your standards, baby. Your results will never outperform the standards you have set. If you want to be a high-performing individual in your chosen field, do you hear me, Allie? Do you hear me, Vita Lachey? Do you hear me, Erica? Do you hear me, Dennis? If you want to be a high-performing individual, and I'm assuming you do because you would not be in a place like this on a morning like this, I'm saying you're going to have to make excellence your new norm. You're going to have to normalize excellence. You're going to have to raise your performance necessity level. You hear what I'm saying to you? Unless your brain and your entire being perceive it as your normal standard, you're going to be like that rubber band. You ever take a rubber band between your fingers and try to stretch it out? What happens once you relax? It goes back to its original form, right? You be like stretching it with your fingers and all of that, and then it goes back, right? Once you relax. You're going to have to stretch that thing out like one of them old t-shirts you be wearing with the neck off, right? Your favorite shirt and how the neck is, that's how you got to stretch your standards. Okay, Allie. Hey, I'm just doing my portion. What's up, Isaac? My man Isaac made it in this morning. I love that. Normalized excellence. That's exactly right. Okay, Mr. Patton made it in. Hey, man. Better late than never, but never late is better. Yeah, let's get it. All right, and then here's the fourth one. Increase your productivity. We got to get out of here, so I can't go real deep on that, but I know productivity is a hot topic with everybody right now. I will say, if you go through that millionaire-minded channel we got on YouTube and you search for productivity, you're going to find all kinds of videos on productivity. I challenge you, if you like the way I break things down, then go to that millionaire-minded TV channel on YouTube and scroll through that thing for productivity trainings. But that's the fourth habit for you. You got to increase your productivity. And since one of those pieces of productivity is, mastering time, respecting time, I'm going to make sure I get out of here on time. It's affirmation time. You know what I mean? Call in right now. Call in right now. If this is your first time ever joining us, don't trip. Just give it a try. Just give it a try. It's going to feel crazy as heck, but you ain't going to be able to get different results doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Just try it with us. You know what I mean? Oh, it's going to feel crazy because we are wild. We wild. Affirmation Nation is wild, man. And then do me a favor and put in the comments any habits that you feel like I left out. Any habits you feel I left out. Let me see them in the comments. All right, call in right now. Repeat after me, millionaires. Say it like you mean it. I am so happy and grateful that money comes